Have you ever heard the story of the dinner table that broke the internet? It's a simple story, really, but it carries a weight that I think many of us can feel deep in our bones. It starts with a mother, a dinner table, and 2 plates. Every single night, without fail, she would set the table for 2. 1 plate for herself, and 1 for her son. It was a ritual, a silent promise. But as time went on, the promise began to feel one-sided. Her son, growing up and chasing the world, stopped coming home for dinner. "Don't wait for me, Mom." His voice would crackle over the phone. "I'm busy. I've got a project. I'll just eat outside with my friends." Each call was a tiny crack in her heart, but her love was a fortress. So she'd hang up, sit down at the table, and wait alone. The food, once steaming and fragrant, would slowly surrender its warmth to the quiet air. The chair opposite her remained empty, a ghost of the little boy who used to sit there, chattering about his day at school. But his plate, his spot at the table, was never, ever removed. It was his, always. Years tumbled by like pages in a fast-forwarded movie. Her son became the man he always dreamed he would be. He was successful. He had the nice clothes, the important meetings, the big, ambitious dreams that filled his calendar and emptied his time. He was soaring, but he was so high up he could unsee the little house with the single light on in the kitchen window. He had everything, it seemed. Everything but time. Time for a phone call that wasn't rushed. Time for a visit that wasn't just a fleeting hello and goodbye. Time for dinner. Then one night, a different kind of call came. Not from his mom, but about her. The voice on the other end was professional, detached. "Sir, we need you to come home. Your mother." She collapsed while she was cooking dinner. The world that he had built so carefully, so meticulously, shattered into a million pieces. He drove faster than he ever had before, breaking every rule he had once followed so religiously in his pursuit of success. When he burst through the door of his childhood home, the sight that greeted him stopped him cold. The table was set. 2 plates, 2 sets of silverware, 2 glasses. His mother's food was on 1 plate, still warm. His plate was empty, waiting. He found her in the hospital, a frail version of the vibrant woman he remembered. The sterile white room was a stark contrast to the warmth of her kitchen. He fell to his knees beside her bed, tears he hadn't shed since he was a child now streaming down his face. "Mom," he choked out, his voice thick with a regret so profound it physically hurt. "Mom, I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm here now. I'll eat with you every night from now on. I promise. I'll come home for dinner every single night." She turned her head slowly, her eyes, though tired, held the same unconditional love they always had. A weak, gentle smile touched her lips. She reached out a trembling hand and touched his cheek. "My dear boy," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I was never waiting for the dinner. I was just waiting for you." Those were some of the last words she ever spoke to him. After she was gone, the house was silent. The kitchen was dark. The table went empty forever. When this story first made its way online, it spread like wildfire. It wasn't just a story. It was a mirror. A mirror held up to millions of people, reflecting a question that was both simple and devastatingly complex. And the internet, in a collective moment of introspection, asked itself that one question. When was the last time you truly sat down with your mom? It's so easy to get caught up in the race, isn't it? We're all running towards deadlines, promotions, ambitions. We're building our futures, and that's a good thing. We tell ourselves we're doing it for them, for our families, to make them proud. We tell ourselves that the big moments, the grand gestures, are what count. We'll make it up to them later. We'll buy them a nice gift for their birthday. We'll take them on a fancy vacation next year. We'll have more time. Later. But what this story reminds us so painfully is that for the people who love us most, it's not about the later. It's not about the grand gestures. It's about the now. It's about the small, seemingly insignificant moments. It's about the empty chair at the dinner table. Our parents don't see the successful executive or the busy professional. They see the child they raised. They don't want our money or our gifts as much as they just want our time, a piece of our day. An hour at the dinner table, sharing a simple meal, listening to a story, and just being present. Think about it. When was the last time you called your mom or dad just to chat with no other agenda? Not to ask for something, not to give a quick update, but just to ask them how their day was and to really listen to the answer. When was the last time you shared a meal with them, with your phone put away, your mind free from work, your attention completely on them. These are the moments that build a life. It's not the milestones we post on social media, but the quiet, unseen acts of love that we so often postpone. We think time is a limitless resource, but for our parents, the clock is ticking differently. Every missed dinner, every postponed visit, is a moment that can never be reclaimed. The mother in the story wasn't keeping a scorecard. She wasn't trying to make her son feel guilty. She was simply holding space for him. Her love was a constant, a quiet flame burning in the window, hoping he would see it and find his way home. She wasn't waiting for a perfect son or a grand apology. She was just waiting for him. So I'm not here to make you feel guilty. I'm here to pass on that question, to hold up that same mirror. Life is incredibly busy, and the pressures are real. But maybe, just maybe, we can reevaluate our priorities. Maybe that very important email can wait an hour. Maybe that meeting can be rescheduled. Maybe we can carve out one evening this week to go home for dinner. Don't wait for a phone call from a hospital. Don't wait until the chair is empty forever. The people who love you aren't waiting for your success. They're just waiting for you. If this story touched you, maybe it's a sign. Pick up the phone. Make a plan. Go fill that empty chair. You will never, ever regret the time you spend with the ones who have loved you from the very beginning. Thank you for listening.